Hello, good people, and welcome to Hillbilly Cat History, where we explore the times, events, and people surrounding Elvis Presley. Thank you for choosing this video. Elvis Exposed: The Truth Behind Inner Circle Books, 1977 through 1980. Join us as we explore the 1977 through 1980 publication history of books about Elvis, written by members of his inner circle. Before we examine the books, we should understand three key facts about Elvis. Elvis loved his mother Gladys above all people and wealth. Gladys was the most important person in Elvis's life. Elvis would never have tolerated during his lifetime any negative statements about Gladys made by any person. Elvis was a Christian. After Gladys passed away, Elvis was devastated. Elvis's faith brought him through the depression created by his loss of Gladys. Elvis knew without a doubt, and never questioned, that he would join Gladys in heaven, that he would be with her again and forever. This was the driving force of his life. Elvis was a very private person. Elvis's life was lived in public, with the eyes of the world upon him. What little privacy Elvis was able to maintain, he guarded closely. Elvis trusted his inner circle not to disclose the details of his private life. Elvis, What Happened? Published in July 1977, this book was available to the public just weeks prior to Elvis's passing on August 16, 1977. Written by gossip columnist Steve Dunleavy, the book consists of anecdotes told orally to Steve by former Elvis employees Red West, Sonny West, and Dave Hebler. The three bodyguards separated from Elvis in July 1976 when Elvis's father Vernon terminated their employment. Steve Dunleavy was a writer and journalist whose sole concern was imprinting the most sensationalistic material available in an attempt to increase sales. Steve performed no research and failed to corroborate a single fact with any source outside the three bodyguards being paid for their stories. The most damaging material released in the book were details of drug abuse in which all three men participated, but which the book skewed heavily in Elvis's direction. The book was published in anger. Claims were made by Red, Sonny, and Dave after Elvis passed away that the book was written to help Elvis, but they also admitted they were angry. Within 2 years of the publication of this book, Red, Sonny, and Dave participated in a second book. Portrait of a Friend. Published in June 1979, this book had already been released to the public in serialized form within the Ladies' Home Journal magazine during the last half of 1978. Written by Leslie Smith and based primarily on the memories of Marty Lacker, the book also includes sections based on interviews with Marty's wife Patsy, Red West, Sonny West, and Dave Hebler. Marty Lacker was a high school associate of Elvis Presley, who later became a close friend in 1957. When Elvis returned from the Army in 1960, Marty and Elvis resumed their relationship. When Elvis offered Marty a job, Marty talked it over with his wife Patsy and accepted the offer, changing his life forever. Marty's duties for Elvis included writing Elvis's personal checks and tracking expenses. A large portion of this book revolves around the drug abuse Marty, Patsy, Red, Sonny, and Dave describe, including detailed discussions of Dr. Nicopolis, Elvis's Memphis physician. The Truth About Elvis, published in 1980, this book was written by Jess Stern with the participation of Larry Geller. The book consists of Larry's recollections of Elvis's reading of various spiritual and religious texts, which Larry presented as Elvis searching for meaning in his life, with Larry as his guide to the mysteries of the universe. Based on the number of exact quotes attributed to Elvis throughout the text, Larry's memory of events is nearly photographic. Although this book does not delve into prescription drug abuse or embarrassing personal details of Elvis's life, it is perhaps the most damaging in the long term to the public's perception of Elvis, the man. This book was popular and sold well, which encouraged Larry to publish several more books, all about Elvis's spiritual life. Fans tend to love these books, feeling they show a personal side of Elvis previously hidden to the world. Unfortunately, readers of Larry's books leave with an impression Elvis was seeking spiritual comfort or guidance which he was unable to find in Christianity or the Bible. This is a flawed perception of Elvis's search in his fundamental, unwavering belief in Christianity. Elvis did not read spiritual books seeking comfort. Elvis did not look for spiritual guidance outside of the Bible. Elvis studied spiritual texts to better understand those who did not believe in Jesus. When Elvis grew up, he listened to Dewey Phillips welcome listeners to his nightly radio program, Red Hot and Blue. Dewey always referred to his audience as good people. Dewey did not care about a person's race or religion or politics. What Dewey cared about was if a person was good or not good. All good people were welcome to his program. All good people were his audience. Elvis absorbed the lesson of Dewey Phillips and viewed his audience the same way, as good people. Elvis knew it was not for him to tell his fans what they should or should not believe. He knew his only job was to declare he himself followed the teachings of the Bible, which he did through his gospel recordings and performances. Elvis welcomed and loved all good people. Elvis knew without a doubt he would go to heaven. Elvis knew his mother Gladys was in heaven waiting for him. Nothing would keep them apart. Elvis was not psychologically capable of doubting his religion for even an instant, as he would have feared he risked his eternal future with Gladys. Elvis had many friends, close friends, friends he loved deeply, friends who were good people, but not Christian. Friends like George Klein, Marty Lacker, Larry Geller, who were all Jewish. Elvis could not bear the thought of leaving these friends and loved ones behind when he ascended to his reward. In life, Elvis judged his wealth through his relationships with the people around him, never by the quantity of dollars in the bank. If his wealth on earth was his friends, how could heaven be paradise without them? Elvis could not believe his Lord would abandon all of the good people who did not meet the Christian definition of saved. Elvis was searching, but not for his own salvation. Elvis was searching for a way to save all those he loved, all the people who Elvis believed were good, but who were not Christian. Throughout all of his searching, Elvis continued to sing praises of his religious beliefs for all to hear. Larry never made a negative comment about Elvis, which is endearing. Larry obviously loved Elvis, there can be no doubt. Larry admired Elvis greatly, but readers of Larry's works should never allow Larry's interpretation of events to overshadow the message Elvis himself tells us through his songs. Elvis was a Christian. Elvis believed in the Bible. Elvis loved Jesus. What were the motivations of each inner circle member for participating in the writing and publication of these books, which reveal personal details Elvis kept private? Hillbilly Cat History will delve into these motivations in more detail in future individual reviews of each volume. Subscribe today for more Elvis. Thank you for joining Hillbilly Cat History as we explored this piece of the Elvis Presley puzzle. Stop on by anytime so we can chat again.